Okay, we are back. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, with the lovely and talented Andrea Kay. That's 3 times today.
Yeah, I know. We got some other lovely and talented ladies here with us.
And the always incredible Urban Miaris is online with us. And we have our next guest. We actually have 2 of them, Michelle and Renee from Ives Insurance Services. So welcome, girls.
Hello.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about Ives. I guess we need to start out with, this is not the first generation of your business, is it?
This is not. This is actually the 3rd generation.
3rd generation.
And
can I let my kids listen to this, see if they want to get involved?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our agency was founded in 1959 by my grandfather, and we are an independent insurance agency. We are a brokerage type. We do the shopping for you for personal lines and business insurance.
So you are, I hate to carry it over from the last interview, but you are a concierge service for insurance products.
Exactly.
All right. I like it. I like it. We're going to have to change that nationwide, that kind of
I love it.
So tell us a little bit, what type of products do you work with? You don't work with everything.
We do, like I said, personal lines insurance. So that is auto, home, umbrella, motorcycles, ATVs, all the fun toys, and then commercial insurance, workers' compensation, general liability, business owners' policies. We do a little bit of life and health, but primarily just the P&C type of business.
Okay, so that leads me to the next point, because as I said before we got on air, this is going to be one of my easy interviews. Okay? So as I've been involved in a lot of this type of work in my career, tell us, why is it that somebody would want to come to Ives when they have the choice of so many thousands of people in the business?
Well, we work for our clients to find the best coverage and the rates for them. So we have access to 100+ companies,
right,
and we work for the person to find what's best for them.
Right.
So we have some bargaining power with our companies to bring your business to them and get you some great pricing that others don't have.
Interesting. Well, one of the things that I can certainly chime in on here is, having 1959 was when the agency started.
Yes.
1959, you've created relationships with the carriers that stands apart from somebody that got into the business 3 weeks ago, correct?
Absolutely. They're, as I was saying to you earlier, they're people that, different companies that come in that can still bring back memories of my grandfather telling jokes to them. And the relationships last, and there is absolutely power behind that as far as being able to help our clients out and represent and be able to represent the best that we can.
Right. And, your business is a relationship-based business anyway. You have to have relationships with the customers, but it goes well beyond that. You have to have relationships with the carriers to get the job done.
Absolutely. It goes both ways.
What does that mean for those of us who aren't familiar with the insurance industry like myself? How does that translate to better service for someone like myself as a client?
Well, for instance, we're a broker, and there is one misconception. Sometimes people are reluctant to use a broker because they feel that they're going to have to pay extra fees on top of placing insurance, broker fees. There's captive agents where, your State Farm, Farmers, Allstate, when you call into them, they can shop their one auto policy, maybe another, and that's about it. With our agency, we're able to take the risk and be able to go through multiple carriers to see who has the best pricing. And, I can take a business and the pricing difference can be a couple $1,000s a year or more. It can be several $1,000s a year.
Wow.
Between matching, either putting everything with one carrier or maybe dicing it up a little and putting it with a couple different carriers to get the best pricing advantage.
Yeah, and in your business, one price doesn't fit all, so it's a function of negotiating with the underwriters to get the right price too. Am I correct?
Absolutely. We can get some of those great discounts on an account. And, the companies want your business, and therefore they will work hard to come in with some great discounts and some perks for you.
And if they don't, you'll work them over on behalf of your client.
Absolutely. We work for you.
Good.
Awesome.
I like hearing that. What is there, I know you provide a variety of different types of insurance services. Is there one particular one that's like your core, your bread and butter?
I would definitely say on the personal line side, your auto and home packages together We are extremely competitive. Each company has their little box of what they'd like to write, whether it's two teenagers and a mother and a father, or if it's, maybe just somebody who just got their license. Every company is different and may be really competitive in one spot and not as competitive in another. So we're able to fit that on the personal lines. As far as businesses go, we're extremely competitive with commercial real estate. Your apartment buildings, commercial buildings with offices, or a strip mall, extremely competitive, as well as auto fleets as well.
And your licensing allows you to do anything within the entire state, am I correct?
Absolutely. We actually are licensed all throughout California, Colorado, Texas, Georgia, I believe, a couple of others.
Okay. Now, why is that important to know?
Sometimes businesses, they have headquarters in another state, yet they do a lot more business maybe in California, but they're based in Texas. Texas is another place. And so being able to have that flexibility to go across the nation is great.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people have homes, they have their residence in California, but they have income property in other states. As was really prevalent back when the market crashed and everybody wanted to buy houses at a deep discount.
Right. We have a lot of clients that are Arizona and California crossover.
Understand. Now, when we have fire, we have fire season here in California, and we oftentimes, every few years, it seems like we'll have a major disaster where we'll lose, quite a few homes. And I just remember hearing recently, a few years ago, that a lot of people thought they had total coverage and found out later that they didn't. And that became a big topic of conversation for San Diegans about their home policies and what it means to have full coverage.
Absolutely. That was a huge thing, and we got so many phone calls every single time the fires start. What's going on? We had a couple of carriers who, when that happened, there were a lot of people who were maybe underinsured in other carriers out there, and the claims were denied. They said, here's your limit, and we're not going past that. Luckily, 3 of our carriers, they stepped up to the plate and they said, we don't care what your coverage is. We are going to, and it goes back to the relationships again. We have those relationships with our carriers, and they went in, they rebuilt the home, and they just made sure their clients were happy.
Awesome.
Talking from the home, we have a number of listeners that do have home-based businesses. What suggestions do you recommend for them to consider if they're working from the home as far as insurance goes?
Well, you not only want to have a homeowner policy in that case, you, in addition, want to cover your business property, your business liability. There are different ways to do that depending on the operation of the business and what the business is doing. Sometimes we can just put a business in the home endorsement or an extra policy to cover all of that traffic and or property.
Yeah, correct. And too many people think their basic homeowner's policy will cover their business assets that they may have, and they don't realize until it happens, something happens catastrophically.
Absolutely. And a lot of, this day and age, we have a lot of people that have the in-home care for the elderly people and or children, and that, depending on the number of hours they're providing, they may need additional coverage for that to cover for that employee of their residence as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to Close Up on Setting a Business here on KFSD AM 1450 at Bloomberg Radio Station, streaming live on the web at financialnewsandtalk.com. Give us a tweet at Close Up SD or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-hosts Andrea Kay and Urban Muaris, and our guests are Michelle and Renee from Ives Insurance Services. So, interesting, I'm going to sidetrack for a second because I have a friend that came to me with a situation, and I want your advice on air. See what we do here.
Never Bring it on.
I think they can handle it, whatever the question is.
Okay. She's renting a home, okay, and the owners or the homeowners association mandated that they get into doing a termite fumigation on the property. So when they put the tent on, somebody broke in and stole a large value of jewelry, while the house was tented. Okay, where does she go for insurance on that? Is that homeowners association? Is that back to attack the termite company who tented the house? How does she do it?
That's a sticky one.
Yes.
But
I feel like we should have Jeopardy music playing in the background.
Hey, my dad was on Jeopardy. You didn't know that.
But here's the point on that one. By carrying renter's insurance, you're covering your property, if there's a fire in the building and you have to move out and you can go to a hotel that night, that's going to be covered automatically, no questions asked. By not carrying that renter's insurance, you're really losing that first line of defense as far as protecting yourself. So although in that situation they may be able to pass that claim along to the homeowner association, by having the renter's insurance in place, it puts her back to square one and let the insurance companies fight it out on who's going to pick up the bill in the end. But she's taken care of.
The one thing I want to add in there is on that renter's insurance, you need to make sure that the jewelry is scheduled. That's one thing that people forget, is that,
they just buy a blanket policy and don't put details down.
There are limits on policies, and if you have got, depending on what company it is, $1,500 or, it depends. If your jewelry value exceeds that, you need to make sure that you schedule your jewelry onto the policy, or else none of that's going to be covered if it's past that.
Interesting. We're talking about a much higher number, too.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, we're starting to run short on time. Tell our listeners how they can find more information about Ives Insurance.
Well, you can catch us on our website, which is www.ivesins, that's I-V as in Victor, ESINS.com.
Okay, great. And you're located down in Point Loma at Liberty Station, correct?
We're right down in the Liberty Station
love that area.
It's great. It's absolutely amazing.
Yep, so we can go down, have a great lunch in many different places, then go down and see Randy at Solare and come back and get our insurance work taken care of at the same time.
We got to have a show. We got to have a show from Liberty Station and just spend the whole day there.
Absolutely. Come do it in our office.
Great idea.
That's right. Urban, you have to get back down here and help us sponsor all that.
Don't do it without me.
We wouldn't dare, Urban.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, great. So we have a third-generation company. Anything you want to leave us with before we end the show? Any thoughts, ideas? Tell us maybe a little bit list of the kind of products and services that you do. Let's reiterate everything.
We would be happy to talk with you anytime. You can call us at 619-224-5337. Tell us what you need, and we will find it for you at the best rate possible.
Great. That's awesome. Well, we have had a great show today. I appreciate you ladies being with us, and we have a lot of follow-up to do, so we'll be talking more about you as the weeks go on.
Thank you so much. We had a great time.
Great. Thank you. Okay, you've been listening to Close Up on San Diego Business, where we find the best and brightest businesses in San Diego and the many special people that work hard to make a difference in our community. If you're interested in being a guest on our show or just want to follow us, come to our website at closeupsandiego.com. You can send us a tweet at closeupsd or find us on Facebook. For Andrea, Urban, Al, and myself, until next Thursday, have a fabulous week and stay awesome, San Diego.